Leadership is a privilege and an immense responsibility in Nichiren Buddhism. As Nichiren Daishonin states, if the leaders are evil, the lineage will become evil. But if the leaders are upright, the lineage will be upright. The character and wisdom of leaders directly impacts the lives of practitioners. What does it mean to be a leader in faith? At its core, leadership in Nichiren Buddhism is about compassion. A true leader wishes to relieve the suffering of others and enable them to reveal their highest potential. As Daisaku Ikeda emphasizes, the underlying purpose of religion lies in liberating each human being. Guiding others to happiness requires wisdom, selflessness, and perseverance. Leaders must strive to embody the Daishonin spirit and teachings. He writes, "My basic principle is this: to expound the correct teaching, to rectify the minds of living beings, and to lead them, all without exception, to enter the path of the Buddha." A leader follows this intent, introducing others to the mystic law and encouraging its practice. This requires setting aside the ego's desires and placing the members' welfare first. The Daishonin likens practitioners to plants and leaders to gardeners tending them. He advises, you should water your own good roots first, and then give water to your disciples. In other words, leaders must continue studying, chanting, and growing. A leader's experiences in faith become the lifeblood they share with others. Sincerity is also key. The Daishonin cautions, if he lacks sincerity, then he will be unable to move others. Without genuine conviction, words ring hollow. Leading by example is essential. As President Ikeda emphasizes, there should be no gap between what you say and what you do. Words must align with action. Practitioners will not heed advice that a leader does not follow themselves. Walking alongside members on the Buddhist path demonstrates a shared commitment and investment in their growth. Compassion is the heart of leadership. The Daishonin writes, "Benevolence is the foundation of a peaceful land." Kindness and care for others must drive a leader's efforts. President Ikeda says guidance means to teach through compassion. This care uplifts members and conveys the universality of Buddha nature. Patience is also indispensable. Members are at different points in their practice. Some may lag behind or struggle to understand the teachings. Leaders should continue reaching out with empathy, avoiding frustration or neglect. The Daishonin writes, "One must not be the kind of arrogant priest who becomes angry and shuns someone just because he disagrees with something that person says." Counseling members is a hallmark of leadership. Meetings should enable an open exchange of hearts and lively discussion. Leaders must listen attentively, offer encouragement, and point out wisdom in each experience. President Ikeda says that leaders should praise others and never criticize them. Finding the good in every member demonstrates leadership. Leaders must also convey hope. Obstacles are inevitable in practice. By upholding members through challenges, leaders kindle determination to continue. President Ikeda writes, "To give someone courage is the greatest gift you can bestow." Hope arises from the shared mission of Kosen Rufu, which transcends passing troubles. Part of wisdom is recognizing one's limits. Even the wisest leader cannot solve every problem alone. Seeking others' input while retaining responsibility as leader is crucial. This models humility and effectively draws on members' talents. Kosen Rufu is the ultimate goal of leadership. The Daishonin states that helping people attain Buddhahood is the leader's role. This entails encouraging consistent faith and dismantling doubt. When members reveal their Buddha nature, it magnifies hope for humanity. The spirit of mentor and disciple is the lifeblood of leadership. By sincerely guiding practitioners, leaders pass the teachings from heart to heart across generations. President Ikeda says, "The eternal flow of mentor and disciple is the wellspring of happiness." This bond conveys the teachings through time. Leaders must avoid arrogance, never viewing members as beneath them. The Daishonin cautions, one should never think oneself better than others. Though occupying different roles, all share the same potential for enlightenment. Leaders act out of care, not superiority. Positivity is essential. The Daishonin writes, "A leader is a master of words and pays attention to using positive language. Speech shapes reality. Leaders must be mindful that their words uplift members and summon courage. Leaders should also share valuable knowledge. President Ikeda says, the purpose of learning is to be able to share your knowledge with others. By reading widely and discussing insights from their studies, leaders provide intellectual nourishment. Practical guidance must be balanced with theoretical understanding to fortify faith. Life itself is the proper training for leadership. The Daishonin writes, day and night, with everything you do, you must continue to accumulate good karma. By challenging their own weakness, leaders gain wisdom to impart. Obstacles are tools for growth. With sincere faith, life becomes a leader's training ground. Leaders must see excellence in every member. Focusing on flaws discourages Buddhahood from emerging. The Daishonin teaches that embracing each person's highest self kindles their innate goodness. Leaders discern members' potential and convey unconditional belief in their capacity to reveal it. True leaders do not view members as followers, but fellow travelers. The mentor-disciple relationship is not authoritarian but collaborative. After all, the very purpose of leadership is to produce new leaders by passing wisdom. President Ikeda emphasizes the need to develop as many capable people as possible. Nichiren Buddhism is humanity's light, and its leaders the torchbearers. But no matter how brilliant the flame, people must open their eyes to see it. This begins with establishing trust. Sincerity, compassion, and wisdom enable leaders to awaken others to their own brilliance. Life after life, mentors nurture Buddha's seeds in people's hearts, uniting them in working for the happiness of humankind. This is the eternal shared pledge of Nichiren Buddhist leaders and followers alike. When practiced with wisdom and care, leadership kindles humanity's highest possibilities. A leader's development never ceases. The Daishonin admonishes, exert yourself in the two ways of practice and study. Leaders must continually elevate their state of life through self-improvement to expand their capacity to guide others. President Ikeda emphasizes that the highest purpose of study is to build character. Along with deepening wisdom, one's character, compassion, humility, sincerity must grow. Practicing alongside members and learning from them fosters this. Leaders should avoid arrogance regarding their knowledge or abilities. No one fully embodies the Lotus Sutra's ideals in this lifetime. The most learned leader has more to learn. Succumbing to pride over accomplishments limits further growth. Leaders must maintain beginner's mind, approaching their practice and members with fresh eyes. Humility allows one to appreciate others' wisdom. At its core, faith aims to reveal our inherent Buddhahood. Leaders guide this process, not control it. Progress relies on the individual's efforts. Leaders are neither saviors nor masters, simply fellow travelers further along the same path. The Daishonin says, Buddhas are ordinary people who have revealed their innate Buddhahood. Leadership means fostering this same potential in others. Wisdom to lead arises from sustained practice. President Ikeda counsels, faith is strengthened only through repeated experience. Regular morning and evening gangyo, and chanting daimoku strengthens one's perception, compassion, and grasp of Nichiren's teachings. Leadership depends on this lifetime of accumulating wisdom through faith. Meetings offer a prime opportunity for heartfelt guidance. Members should leave inspired to challenge their human revolution. When discussions wander off topic, leaders must tactfully steer back to spiritual aims while valuing each person's voice. Meetings should mirror a two-way street, with leaders' guidance enhancing how members apply teachings in daily life. The core of mentorship is building trust. Members will not open their hearts without believing in their leader's sincerity. This takes time and consistent display of compassion. But once established, trust enables the mentor's encouragement to enter members' lives and spur change. Patience to earn members' confidence is essential. Adversity is the forge of superior leaders. They emerge tested by obstacles, not shielded from them. Suffering develops compassion and moral courage. Leaders grow by challenging their own weakness. The Daishonin says, misfortune comes on the heels of fortune. When it seems as though spring will never come, spring eventually comes. Leaders must demonstrate this perseverance for members. True leaders subordinate self-interest to serving members and fulfilling their responsibility. President Ikeda says, the correct path is to place priority on your responsibility, not on your own problems. One's duties take priority over personal affairs. Members should see leaders surmounting their own challenges with faith. Leaders must give hope, especially when circumstances seem bleak. Strength arises from vowing to transform poison into medicine. The Daishonin endured unjust exile and persecution, yet never stopped believing in people's capacity for enlightenment. When members want to retreat from faith, leaders must embolden them to transform suffering into joy. Mentor and disciple develop together, bonded by their vow. President Ikeda says, where there are disciple-like members, capable leaders will emerge. Just as lights mutually illuminate one another, courageous members inspire their mentors' wisdom. This elevates the entire organization. Both roles are vital to propagate Nichiren Buddhism. There is no separation between the public and private self of a leader. At all times, they must think, speak, and act with integrity. The Daishonin cautions, the wise do not condemn or praise people on the basis of rumors. Leaders avoid haphazard talk, instead exemplifying Buddhism's ideals, even in private. Integrity earns trust. The mentor-disciple relationship should empower members to embrace responsibility, and growth requires detachment from the mentor's protection, like a child learning to walk unaided. President Ikeda says, true happiness comes from having broad horizons. Leaders guide members to develop strong, self-sustaining faith. Responsibility is the stepping stone to independence. Faith itself makes ordinary individuals extraordinary. By believing in members' Buddhahood and drawing that forth, leaders enable them to reveal their inherent greatness. The Daishonin's teaching, obscure people will become wise and the foolish will become clever, means that even the most downtrodden person can profoundly influence society when their Buddha nature emerges. Leadership ignites this transformation. Kosen Rufu necessitates compassionate, capable leaders, yet is accomplished through united efforts. President Ikeda says, the stream of Kosen Rufu flows eternally on thanks to everyone's contributions. Leaders and members flow together, one current strengthening the other. Each member's inner revolution ripples outward to elevate the whole. Wherever wisdom touches people's lives, humanity inches closer to Buddhism's ideals. Like water droplets forming a mighty ocean, members' progress merges to become an indestructible force of justice, compassion, and peace. Leadership consists of wisdom, courage, and love to kindle this brilliance inherent in life itself.